They're mad you realize you're the star of your own movie because they're too busy playing extras in their own. We have people out here today that don't recognize the fact that they're an A-lister in their own movie. But they are too busy focused on other people who are killing the scene and playing their role. And we're going to really touch on why that is. All right, the topic of discussion at hand is they're an extra in their own movie. And it's sad. It's sad when you have other people that choose to be an extra in their own movie. They don't realize that they are more powerful than they ever could be. But the one thing they don't understand is the same power that they see other people possess, they have it too. But what they're too busy focused on is what you have versus what they don't. And they can't take their mind off the fact that somebody else has something that they want or feel that they lack. According to your belief, so be it unto you. People are creating a lot of negative scenarios for themselves out of the negative self-belief that they hold for themselves. When you are the person who knows that they're the star of the show, you're going to act as such. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that other people aren't aware that they're being caught up in being a B-roll movie actor. Instead of being an A-lister, they're choosing to be a B-lister. We all are star leading roles in our own movie called life. But anybody that is hating on you, that person is taking a back seat to their own dream. They're taking a back seat to their own movie. Instead of being number one, we're number one. Instead of being number one, we're number one. Instead of being number one, they're choosing to be number two. Instead of choosing to be an A-lister, the actor who is the lead role in the movie, the person with their face all on the screen, the person with their face all on the trailer for the movie. When you go to look up a movie with Denzel Washington, whose face do you primarily see on the screen? You see Denzel Washington. You go to see Jack Nicholson, whose face is going to be on the trailer? Jack Nicholson. You go to see any A-lister actor. You go to see Superman, it's going to be Superman's face on the trailer. But you have people who will take a back seat to who they really could be. They're not taking risks. They're not taking chances. They're not working on themselves. They're not trying to achieve any goals. But they're focused on people that are actually doing things. They're too worried about the person who wants to be something. Even if you choose to acknowledge the fact that someone is doing and what someone's doing, even if it's in the form of clowning that person, you're still acknowledging what that person is doing. If people are laughing at you, you're doing something right. Because they may be laughing now, but if you're doing something and you're willing to keep growing, and you're willing to keep going through what you have to deal with, no matter how hard it is for you or how long it takes you, if you don't give up, you'll be the last one laughing. And they would have spent all that time focused on what you were doing, what you were trying to do, what you were trying to become. And if you're doing it, there's no trying involved. If you don't give up, you're actually going to become that. So anybody that laughed at you, they're going to have to eat that. Num, 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 num. They're going to have to eat that. Anybody who said you couldn't be that, they're going to have to eat that. Anybody who said you couldn't do that, they're going to have to eat that. The num, 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 num. They're going to have to eat their words. And guess who's going to make them eat them? You. With every victory, you just picking up a spoonful and shoving it in their mouth. Taste it. That's what you're doing. You're just shoveling it. There's certain things you just shouldn't do when you see a person trying and you see a person doing something and you see that that person is focused. You see that that person is determined. You see that that person is a no matter what kind of person. No matter what they got to go through, that person is still a no matter what type of person. You leave those people alone. You leave those people alone. That person will work as hard as that you should. You think you know petty people think they know how to. They think they know pettiness. No, you don't. You don't know pettiness like a person that wants to become successful. I'm talking about that 50-cent pettiness. You don't know. You don't know what's deep down inside a person that you may be trying to take a dump on. You just don't know. You think you're taking a dump on this person because they're where they're at and they're not where they profess themselves to be or where you think they should be. And you think because of this person, whatever you see in them, you think you could just take out whatever you feel on them and you think that's that. No. It's not that kind of party. Guess what? That person is going to take that and build off that and use that to make themselves better. You just turn plastic into fuel. You just gave this person a whole arsenal of gas. You just gave this person a whole arsenal of motivation, of ambition. You're pushing this person off the edge. And you didn't even see that they were growing wings and were about to spread them and fly when they came off the cliff. You about to spread your wings and fly. Because that's what A-listers do. That's what A-listers do. That's what people who fill seats do. That's what people who do what they know they can do, and they know they do a good job at it. The person who wants to try something, the person who wants to do something, and that's not afraid to fail, that's the person living their life. The person that's not afraid to have others view them a certain way or put themselves in a position to have to hear somebody's opinion and they still keep moving forward, that's the person that is going to get what they want. That's the person who's going to be what they want. They're not letting you stop them. You're saying whatever you could possibly say to this person, and they're not letting that stop them. Even if they got to go back to the drawing board. You may have made them sit down for a little bit. Well, guess what? They got back up. What you gonna do now? Somebody sits you down, you get back up. There are things that people will do and people will say that'll make you sit down for a while. But guess what? You get back up. Because you're an A-lister. You got people worried about other people like it's doing something for them. It ain't doing a damn thing for them. It don't do a damn thing for you to worry about somebody else. It only does something for you to focus on yourself. That's why haters are still hating to this day. Look at all the people's story who made it. Look at all the people's story that hate it. They still telling their story about this and that because they didn't go do anything. You got a story to tell, make sure you do something with it and do something with yourself. So you don't just end up with a story. You got people too busy playing extras. An extra is a person that you don't even recognize. An extra is a person you don't give two sugars about. An extra is a person that nobody even sees unless you freeze the movie. You put the movie on freeze and you stop it and you say, look at what these people are doing. Who's doing that? Who's stopping the movie to see who's in the background? You're lucky to even be seen for a split second. Nobody's paying attention to the people that don't have a lead role. You better be lucky you have you better play your part or something. But even if you're playing your part and you're not in the lead role, guess what? You're going to end up finding yourself one. Because you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're playing your part. Other people too worried about other people. They're not playing their part. They're too busy being an extra. You worried about somebody else, you are an extra. Focused on what other people doing, you are an extra. You're too busy focused on what somebody else is doing to do something yourself, for yourself. Even if you're doing something for yourself, if you're not living your dream, you ain't doing nothing. Even if you're doing something for yourself, if you're not living your dream, you're not doing nothing. Nothing. You're not living your dream, you're not doing nothing. There's people who are above people, people who are talking down on people because of where they were at, what things looked like, what things seemed like they were going to be. That person took the horns of life and turned their life around because they turned their mind around and they changed their life into what they always knew it could be. And made them people numb, 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 numb. Eat them words. Numb, 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 numb. They're gonna eat them words. Make sure they get them a napkin for the lap and the shirt. Practice some etiquette because they're gonna eat them words. Thinking that other people can't do something because they think they can't do something. That's a B-lister. That's an extra. Excuse me. That's not even a B-lister. I'm disrespecting the B-listers. That's an extra. That's not even a B-lister. That's an extra. B-listers get paid. Real actors might get 100,000. A B-lister might get 20,000. That's better than no thousand. An extra might get $700, if that. Maybe probably no more than 10. That got to be a hell of a movie. But if you got an extra attitude, you're not going to be a A-lister in somebody else's movie. And they get mad too when you don't view them the way you want them to. But they're acting like an extra. How you gonna want to be seen as on the A-list team? How you gonna want to be seen on the A team? But you acting like an extra. That's not A-team activity. That's extra activity. You better be an A-lister in your own movie. But you want to be a third party actor. They want to be third party. not even knowing they missing out on their own life. That's the wildest. That's some wild work. That's some wild work. You missing out on your own life, and to think you're doing something, man. I'd rather not be where I want to be and be working towards getting there than think I'm somewhere and not be anywhere at all. I'd rather, and you watching this video, you rather too. You rather be the person who can analyze their situation and be like, yo, I need some self-improvement. I need to put in more work. I need to do more so I can have more. Instead of thinking that you've done enough and not have done anything at all. You want a real job? You want a real job? Then where you work and how you pay your bills, magnificent. Round of applause. And I mean that in all seriousness and totality. But guess what? Guess what? Guess what the real work is? That job, it helps you. And it allows you to do everything you need to do and take care of yourself and provide for your family. Make sure you got health care. Make sure your bills are paid. Make sure you drive a nice car, live in a nice house. It makes sure that you can live the life you want as far as it is concerned, and keeping you in a cycle to where you have to go back every week unless you are investing in yourself and starting a business. But you want to know where the real work is? If you really truly want to get paid, you get paid for working the mind, not working the behind. The person who you work for, that business, that entity, whoever created it, you think they work their mind or you think they work their behind? The person who created the place where we all go to work at and punch in, whoever created that job for the need for a facility to have co-workers and for people to be able to go there and work and get paid, whoever's vision set that in place, that's the person that worked their mind. That's the person on the beach watching it from a laptop, just clocking math. Listening to the waves, sitting on the sand, watching the sunrise and the sunset, enjoying nice views and good food. But people are too busy worried about hating on somebody else and being a damn extra instead of being a A-lister. Oh, he act like this, he talk like that, he do this, worried about all the foolishness, all the dumb stuff. And that could be funny. You might walk funny, you might talk funny, you might end up being someone that people laugh at because there's certain things about you they find hilarious. Well, guess what? While they're worried about you, you're constantly creating yourself. You're constantly building yourself. You're constantly creating the reality you want to live in. You're constantly working your mind. You're constantly seeing yourself the total opposite of the way they see you, because they really don't see you that way. They see themselves that way. They're just trying to project it onto you, and the energy feels weird because you're not neglecting it, and you still have to work on your own self-image. You feel these weird people's energy, man, that ain't me, that's them. What? I know I'm not that. I'm too fly for that. Where is that coming from? That gotta be coming from them, because no. Heavens no. That ain't coming from over here. That's whew. You like the manna that fell down from heaven that they didn't collect. That energy stank. That energy stank. We don't want none of that. Stank. People that have gifts and they let their gifts go to waste, they stink. If you got a gift and you ain't using it, you let it go to waste, you gonna stink spiritually. You're gonna be ridden with rottenness because you didn't let your fruits grow ripe enough to pick them and enjoy the fruits of your labor. You let them go to waste. You let them rot. You don't want to let your gifts rot. You want your tree to bear fruit, and you want it to ripe and be ripe for the picking. You don't want it to grow rotten. You don't want to have a molten calf. You don't want to have a molten calf. That calf represented disbelief. That calf represented not going forth with your spiritual gifts and doing anything with them. That's what that calf represented. You don't want no molten calf. You want that calf to be destroyed. You want God to come and destroy that calf. You want your thoughts to come and destroy that calf, that idea about yourself, and create another one, a different one, a new one. That calf got destroyed, and then they were able to see themselves the way God saw them. Destroy that molten calf and see yourself the way God sees you, a A-lister. Don't be like these other extras out here. Extra actors and whatnot. You got, instead of being an A-lister, you got people taking a back seat. You got people who are clowning people who are brave enough to do something. You're brave enough to do something. I'm not. I got to make fun of you. I got to clown you. I got to gaslight you. I got to talk about you. I got to treat you crazy. You're brave enough to actually do it. You got enough heart to actually do it. Do it. You got enough heart to actually do it. When you got enough heart to do something that other people are afraid to do, they're gonna murmur. Moses had heart to actually tell them people and believe in what he was able to do. He actually believed in what God told him. And people murmuring. He still believed in it. Still believed in himself. Still was able to handle that situation. And yeah, man, yo. They was some stubborn folks. They was some stubborn folks. You look at some people today, you could definitely classify and clarify who them people was. I mean, they was hard of hearing, hard of believing, hard of seeing. They put it right in, God put it right in front of their face, and they still. How much proof do you need? All right, but how much proof do you need? You're a lister. How much proof do you need? God's showing you all types of signs. You got people, you watching this video, you got people leaving their own movie. You got people leaving their own movie. You know what? This movie's not that good. His is more interesting. That's what they're doing. They're looking at you and saying, you know what? This person's movie is more interesting. And let me go try to interrupt it. But they could never do that. It may seem like it. It may feel like it. It may actually look like it. It may actually be some things that actually go down to where in this illusion that might seem what it is. But guess what? In the grand scheme of things, you are the grand scheme of things. What God has for you, nobody could take away from you. The script already set in stone, written by the creator. What? You already acting that out, and you didn't even know until this video. You didn't even have no idea. So hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe, and continue to be the A-lister in your own movie. Because if not, you'll be an extra and fall victim to playing a role for somebody else. Thank you for watching this video. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.